So, guess I'm live now. Hello, welcome everybody. I'm happy to present on the SAP Insight track online. And what we will be doing today is we will have some fun with SAP Cloud Platform services. I don't know if you recognize the pictures that I have here on the slides. I guess most people would have heard of this TV series called The Walking Dead. And I will be using The Walking Dead as an example today. So what will we be doing? For all of you who haven't heard of The Walking Dead or didn't watch the series, it's about a setting where a zombie apocalypse is happening and there is a team of people who try to live in this new circumstances. A simplified view of the TV series is the following. There's a guy, this guy, he is the leader of the group. And what he does, he has this friend is called Daryl. And Daryl is the guy who is always responsible for killing zombies. So the first guy, his name is Rick. When he sees a zombie, he basically talks to this other guy, Daryl, and tells him that the zombie needs to be killed or not. And then Daryl, based on his experience, decides if he kills the zombie either using a crossbow or using his knife. So the basic flow that the whole TV series is about is Rick telling Daryl to kill a zombie, and Daryl kills a zombie either using his cool crossbow or a knife. So that's, of course, overly simplistic. The whole series has a lot more to it than this, but for the course of our demo, this will do. So, and what do you see when you look at this picture? Don't see it? It's obviously an SAP architecture. So in the back end, you have like a database. In our case, this is Rick. Then you have this guy Daryl. He consists of two parts. He has a kind of workflow that decides what is to do, and he has a knowledge base. And in this knowledge base, based on his experience, decisions how to kill a zombie, what is the best tool to do it, are stored. And there's also a notification. Once he's done with killing a zombie, he notifies back to Rick on his mobile phone or via email what he's done. So obviously, The Walking Dead is based on SAP software. So, and that's what we will be doing today. I will be using the workflow service on Cloud Foundry on the SAP Cloud Platform, the business rules service in SAP Cloud Platform on Cloud Foundry, and ABAP in the cloud to build a scenario related to the whole zombie killing theme. So let's go ahead, kill some zombies. First thing we will do is I will show you the tools we will be working on mostly. And this will be, for now, the Web IDE. What I have inside the Web IDE is a really simplistic first implementation of workflow. So workflow is modeled in the workflow modeling language BPMN. It consists of activities. We have an activity which is performed by a user, or we have activities which send messages, in this case, emails. So the current setup is as follows. Once a zombie is spotted, once the workflow starts, Rick has a look at the zombie and decides if the zombie needs to be killed or not. In either cases, an email is sent, in the case to me, so I can show you. Let's have a look at this user task. So this user task is Rick. he assesses a zombie, and this user task has attached a user interface. The user interface is a really simple form. You can use the SAP Web IDE or also the Business Application Studio to model a simple form, which consists of headlines, sections, and data which will be taken from the context of the workflow. So this, let me close this here so that we see a little bit more. So this is basically the UI, and besides the UI, there are also decisions. So you will see shortly in the rendering in the inbox, there will be two buttons, a kill and ignore button, and one will be red and one will be green, based on what I stated here as a positive or negative outcome. So this is the very basic workflow I've modeled, and I already deployed it to the SAP Cloud Platform.
Christian?
And what we now can do, yes?
There's a mention that the sharing is not proper. We're not seeing the entire workflow. We have only 1/4 of the screen.
Okay. Do you now see the whole workflow?
No, no. Have you closed down the presentation?
Oh yeah, I see what's happening. I closed down the presentation. Let me double check this again. Where's the presentation? Let's quit this. Somehow the sharing seems to be messed a little bit. Let me try something. I'll quickly unshare and share my screen again.
Yes, exactly.
Where's my mouse? I lost my mouse. So hopefully now it's better. At least it looks better in my preview.
To me, it looks better as well, and we will have a bit of delay, but the chat will also be seeing it.
Yeah, okay. Let's hope that it's now better. So basically what I've been explaining so far is this little workflow here. Yeah, nothing too complex, just a workflow with one user task, a decision, and two mail tasks, two message send tasks. What we will do now, we will go in the workflow UI of this of the workflow service. Of course, it has timed out in the meantime, and I have to reload it. What we see here is that I currently have in my trial account one workflow deployed. That's a zombie hunting workflow. And what we do now, we start a new instance. A new instance is started by providing a little JSON, the JSON data that the workflow needs to run. In my case, I've prepared something to copy and paste from it, so you don't have to watch me typing. So the data I've prepared the data the workflow needs consists of zombie data, and it has a danger level, a description, and a type of zombie. So right now we see a danger level of 101. The zombie is a big zombie with an axe and is of type walker.
Christian, the movement from one screen to another is a bit funky here. We can only see a small area of it, and it's loading very slowly.
Okay, let me try something else. So I won't work in full screen mode, and I will try to share and unshare again.
Yes, perfect.
Just give me a second. I have to close all the full screen windows I have, put them on one screen, and then I'll start again. So now you should see my browser window again.
It's perfect now. And we
Okay.
can see the description of it's a big zombie with an axe.
Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I just click here on Start Instance once I found my mouse again. And then I switch the view to the inbox. And you see right now, I now have the role of Rick. I have my inbox item. There's a big zombie with an axe was spotted, and I need to decide if I want to kill the zombie or not. So in this case, I think this zombie is too dangerous. We need to kill it. I click on kill. And what happens now is that the workflow is executed. There is an email task happening. And if we now have a look in my email inbox, we should see, yeah, there it is, the message from Daryl, who tells me that the big zombie with an axe of type Walker has been killed. So far, so good. However,
I'm sorry, Christian, it's doing it again, and I don't know if it's the browser or what it is that is making it doing that.
So I have nothing else I can do really now. I'm going to close all other applications and see if this helps. So everything else I would need.
Okay, sorry guys in the chat, we're having a bit difficulties here. However, the track itself, it does not collide with another track afterwards. So we will be able to give it a couple more minutes.
So,
and you're back.
I'm back. So I always get a notification that the stream is still running, but the preview has been paused. I don't know if that's related. So anyway, so far we have seen this this little workflow. It's not particularly interesting, and especially all the rule stuff I have been talking about is missing. So therefore, I will show you rules, business rules modeled in the business rules service on the SAP Cloud Platform. What I've modeled here is, let me increase this a little bit. I have modeled one project. Yeah, all my sessions expired. I should have prepared, shouldn't have prepared too long before. So what we see here is I have one rules project. It's about the zombie rules. And this rules project has some data to it. So there is input and output data. The input data is the zombie data we already know from earlier. Right here you see the type, the danger level, and the description. And there's also output data. The output data is simply the weapon type Daryl is going to use to kill the zombie. With this in and output data, I modeled a rule or rules. The rules are modeled as decision tables. So it's a little bit hard to see. Let me switch to edit mode. I think it's better to see in edit mode. So there's a decision table. It basically consists of an if-then condition. The underlying standard is DMN, decision model notation. What you see here is this is the if condition part of a rule, and this is the result part of a rule. So if we have a zombie of any danger level and type lurker, we will kill it with a knife. If we have a zombie of danger level below 100 of type Walker, we also kill it with a knife. And if we have it of danger level larger than 100, we kill it with a crossbow. So that's the rules that I've modeled here. Using these rules.
Okay, Christian?
Yes?
I'm sorry again for interrupting. However, we might have found the problem of the resolution. If you could restart the stream in 1280 times 720.
Okay.
Set your resolution to 1280 times 720.
Where do I do this?
We would stop the stream and then do it on your computer if that's possible. We're gonna have a 2-minute technical timeout, guys. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and we will get back.
So I need to reduce my screen resolution?
Yes. To 1280 times 720.
Let me think how I can do this. That's not so easy on the Mac because I can't select it. I not have to. So it's only 1080.
1280, 720.
I have no screen that is capable of doing this resolution. So and on the Mac, on my notebook, I can only set it to scale. Let's give it a try.
What is your current?
1280 to 800.
Okay, 12. Yes, try that. 1280 to 800.
Okay. So yeah, I set this. Shall I try to share again?
Yes. We're checking on the technical side at the moment.
So now I'm on the new resolution.
So we have a bit more to work with now. However, it's still lagging from one end to another, but a bit faster, I think. Okay, so be patient when you switch from one image to another, one page to another. It takes a while for the image to load.
Okay. Okay. So where have I been? Okay. We are on the rules. So based on these rules, I created a rules service. And this rule service is deployed to the SAP Cloud Platform. So this is a rule service I can now invoke to execute my rules. And I will do this in 3 steps. The first step, I will show you the SAP API Business Hub. Then we'll do the same thing with Postman. And finally, we integrate it in the workflow. So first step, we go to api.sap.com. This is the API Business Hub. What I've done here is, or what I can do here, I can search, for example, for all the APIs related to rules. There are different ones. I'm using the one on Cloud Foundry, and we are looking for the API to execute rules, and that's that one. So if I click on here, I have a nice feature. I can configure my own environment. I did this beforehand. So this is my environment. This is now linked to the service I deployed earlier, to the rule service that I showed you. So what I can do, I have different operations here. I can, for example, check which rule definitions I have by simply clicking on try out and execute. And I see a response. HTTP 200 is always good. And I see in the response that there is one rule service deployed which has a certain ID and is the rule that I just modeled, the zombie rule. So now we know what we have, but we can also invoke the rules here. What I would need to invoke the rules is this working Z rule service. Also, I can use that one to try to invoke my rule. I need to copy and paste something. It's a little bit more complex. The input data I need to give. The input data I need to give is basically the ID of the rule service. That's the wrong tool, which is up here. And the vocabulary. So the vocabulary is basically the data that's given to the rule to be evaluated. So the data I'm giving to the rule is the zombie data, the type, the description, and the danger level. Right now we have here a stupid looking zombie of type walker with danger level 32. So, and what I can now do, I can execute the rule with this input, and we get a response. The response tells us this kind of zombie shall be killed with a knife. And now we can play around with the rules I created. For example, if we increase the danger level to 101 and invoke our rule again, we see the result here is that the zombie now shall be killed with a crossbow. So now we have modeled the rule basis, and we can now integrate this rule basis in our workflow. How is this done? I need to go back to the web IDE. So this is the current state of my workflow. Move this a little bit out of the way. What I now need to do, create a little bit of room over here, is to add 2 tasks. The first one is a service task, the other one is a script task. I'll explain why I need the 2 of them next. So first I'll place the script task here. The script task will prepare, using JavaScript, the data in the workflow context for invocation of the rule service. So we will call this this activity prepare Darrell data. And I already created a simple JavaScript here that we can use. This JavaScript is really not much. What it basically does, it surrounds, it builds a request we have just been using inside of the SAP API Business Hub as well. Right? It's just a request, it has a rule ID, and it has a vocabulary to it. That's really all this this little script does. And it adds this information to the context of our workflow. So that was the first step. Prepare the Darrell data. The next step is that we invoke a service on Cloud Foundry. In this case is, let's call this service execute Darrell. And this execute Darrell service will invoke, where do I find this? Will invoke as a service on the cloud platform. And unfortunately, it doesn't allow me to scroll. Why doesn't it work? I need to select this. Execute Daryl. Now we have the details here. And the nice thing in combination with the API Business Hub is that I can now select the SAP API Business Hub here and select the service I want to invoke. And we can, again, just search for rule, and we see the rule execution API for Cloud Foundry. That's exactly the one we want to use. Rule execution for Cloud Foundry, this one. I would expect now that I could select it, but nothing happens. So let's first fill in the destination. Maybe this needs to be filled in before we can select the service. So that's the destination. That's just the destination I configured in the Cloud Foundry environment. And now we need the rule execution. I try to find the service without filtering. Maybe that was an error. Rule. Now we are close. Rule execution service for Cloud Foundry. It's selected. Oh, damn it. And I can't do anything here. I'll restart the web IDE again and see if this fixes the problem. Sorry for all the technical issues, but it worked before, of course. So.
And Christian, please remember that the load time on the visuals is very slow. So just take your time. We have the possibility to go overtime on this one.
Yes, okay. So I'll try to select this again. Now it works for whatever reason. What we want to do, we want to invoke the rule, and that's the service we just used. I select it. We can now specify the request and the response variables. I prepared the data in the context exactly that these variables are already the right ones. So I can now just click on finish, and everything should already be prepared. So this would allow us to now invoke the service that executes the rule and give us the information back into our workflow. So, and that we in the end really see that this is also happening. I will edit this mail task. In this mail task, I can specify to whom the email is sent and a subject and a message body. And I will change the message body to also include the information which weapon was used to kill the zombie. So right now the text is the description of the zombie of type with danger level has been killed, best sterile, and we extend it with some more information using the, and then the weapon type that's returned from our rule. So with this in place, we can now save the workflow That's a double check. So this really worked because I didn't see. Yep. So now I can save the workflow. And what I now need to do, I need to deploy the new workflow. Therefore, I first will build the workflow using the build tool. So this opens up console window where I get the information of what has been happening. If everything works well, I see that the build is complete. And what I now can do, I can deploy this archive to the sub-cloud platform. This will take a little bit of time. Once the workflow is deployed, we can invoke it again and see if the workflow that is executed really changed. Unfortunately, today it takes quite long to deploy this workflow service or this new workflow to the cloud platform. Yesterday, when I tried it, it was really quick. But today it takes quite a time. So now the new workflow is deployed. So I switch again to my workflow monitoring tools. What you see right now here is that a new version of this workflow has been deployed. And what I will do now, I'll start again a new workflow. So I will paste the information for the context again here. I will again use this big zombie with an axe of danger level 101. And if you remember correctly, 101 is above 100, so our business rule should return that the zombie needs to be killed with a crossbow. So it starts this instance. First, I go to my inbox. In my inbox, I should now see a new instance that a big zombie with an axe has been spotted. And this time we are going to kill the zombie. I'll click on kill. And now I go back to the monitoring tools. And let's check the workflow instances. So we see no workflow instances found. The reason is we are filtering, or the default filtering here is just on running or erroneous workflows. If we reset the filter, we will see that there's a completed workflow. And if we look at the time down here, you see it's a workflow I just started. If we scroll down a little bit, I scroll down to the very bottom first. There's the execution log. And you see what happened here. First, I instantiated the workflow. Then the user task was created. Then, next thing, I completed this task by clicking on kill in the inbox. Now we go to the decision, or the workflow went to the decision. It took the part where we will invoke Daryl, who try to kill the zombie. First, it executed the script task. The script task finished successfully. And next, the business rule task is invoked. It's down here. And then the message was sent. If we scroll up a little bit, we see here the workflow context. You see first down here, the information I gave to the workflow when it started, to start it. And then you see here the request that was created by the scripting task, which basically wraps the zombie information with the information which rule shall be invoked. That's that one. And here we see, as a result, the weapon type crossbow. So if I now look in my email inbox, I should see, okay, that's here, scroll in a little bit, that the big Tumby with an axe of type Walker, which has a danger level of 101, has been killed using the crossbow. See. So now we have a workflow running on the cloud platform, which invokes a rule service also running on the cloud platform, and with the result of this rule service does something. So, and of course, some of you know me. A demo I will be giving might not be complete if we not talk at least a little bit about ABAP. So our backend system is still missing. What I will now show you is how we can instantiate this workflow in the cloud from an ABAP backend system. The ABAP backend system I will be using is also ABAP on cloud platform, so the new steampunk system. I'm connected to it using a virtual machine. Let's make this a little bit bigger. So this is my virtual machine running ABAP in Eclipse. And what we will see here is a very simple class that will invoke our workflow. Invoking the workflow from ABAP consists basically of two steps. First, I need to get an OAuth token. So that's for the authentication protocol that the cloud platform is using. And then I start the workflow instance. How do we get the OAuth token? That's the message down here. It looks a little bit messy, but it's really not that complex. What I do, I create an HTTP destination. This is new functionality available in Steampunk, so you won't find these classes in your NetWeaver backend system that you have at work probably. And I just pass it the URL to the authentication service. Then I need to set a client ID and a client secret, all the information where to find this. There are really good tutorials available. Also, DJ Adams has done great videos on different parts of these services, so you find all the information on the web. And what I then have to do, I'll just need to tell the service that I want client credentials. Then I execute the HTTP request. I get back some JSON, and then I have to do some quite ugly JSON handling down here just to get my access token. The access token is a long string, long random string. And if I have this in place, the next thing I can do, I can try to start the workflow instance. And starting the workflow instance is basically the same thing. I create an HTTP destination for my workflow service. It's sitting at this URL. I can find this URL, for example, in the API Business Hub. I create an HTTP client from this destination. I pass this HTTP client my token, which I just received from the previous call. And then I'll give some information in JSON format to the service. In this case, the information that we want to invoke the zombie hunting workflow, that we have an ABAP zombie at hand. It's a mighty ABAP zombie with a really big danger level of 44,100. And then we just execute the service call. And we will get back a status, hopefully of HTTP 201, if the workflow has been instantiated. So let's try to execute this. We run it as ABAP console application. This class is executed. And I get the result here, response 201, HTTP 201, the workflow has been created. So that's really nice. That means we can switch to my browser window again. In the browser window, we go to my inbox. In my inbox, we see that the mighty ABAP zombie has been spotted. It's a really dangerous beast. Therefore, we decide to kill it. Now you know what's happening in the back end. The rule service is invoked. Based on the information in the rule service, some information is passed back, which tools should be used to kill the zombie. And if I look in my inbox now, I see that the mighty ABAP zombie of danger level 44,100 has been killed using a machine gun, because obviously it's very hard to kill an ABAP zombie. Therefore, you need serious weaponry to achieve this.
Christian?
Yes?
This is one of the absolute best talks I have ever heard. And the content you have is absolutely brilliant.
Thanks.
However, the video quality is absolutely not due to the problems with the integration between the Mac OS and the Discord server.
Yes.
So what we would all very much like, if it is possible, if you want to, would it be possible for you to do this, record it yourself so that you have it as an MP4?
Yeah.
We would be able to, if you have the time to do this at any time before it ends tomorrow, then we could upload it and premiere it one more time, actually.
That's not going to happen. So I mean, it's 11 o'clock here in Germany. Oh no, it's 12 o'clock. I don't think I will find the time for another 3/4 of an hour for the end tomorrow to record it again.
Okay.
I'll absolutely happy to record it afterwards and provide it in a better quality. But before tomorrow, I won't be able to make it.
Okay, that is absolutely perfectly fine as well, because then we will put it up in the format that you have made, so that it's available for everyone to watch afterwards as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would be great, because absolutely kudos to you with the creativity. And the flow is perfect, and you have such a nice conversational storytelling style. So that would be absolutely preferable. We really want to have that talk.
I'll try to. I will record it somewhere in the next few days and provide it.
Okay, awesome, perfect.
Good. So yeah, that's it. that also was my content. That was right the end.
Great. So I don't have any questions from the chat, but the people are enjoying it, and we will upload your quote unquote a good visual version of it.
Okay, yeah. We'll try. I'll create one and I'll send it to you.
Okay. Thank you so much for this talk. Yeah.
So then I'll now unshare my screen, and basically then is the talk ended, right?
Yes, you stop sharing and that will be the end. Yes.
Cool. Great. Thanks.